Entrepreneurial myth. There's a myth that we've probably all been working with, that it's entrepreneurs who go into business. As far as research would prove, if we were to get a global research done, we would discover that it's really maybe 80%, maybe 90% of people who go into business are really technicians. Someone probably who was doing something before. They were working in a restaurant, and they say, but guess what, I can do this better than this manager. I'm going to start my own restaurant. Or you may talk about it on a higher scale. An attorney, he goes to law school, gets his qualification, and automatically he thinks that he's a businessman. And he believes that because he knows about the work which is done inside that company, that he actually can manage a company which does that technical work. That lawyer believes he can run a law firm, and a doctor believes he can run a medical practice. That's a myth. It is not true. Entrepreneurs are the ones who come up with the ideas, the greatness that will start the business. But managers, once you start the business, you have to turn on that managerial aspect within you to ensure that the business gets going. You can't get lost as a technician working inside the business. You have to also focus on working on the business, not just in it, but on it. And the entrepreneur would be the one to come up with the new products and services as we move on. But our objective today, look at credit unions, the history, structure, system, services, the relevance to development, and the relevance of cooperatives to micro, small, and medium enterprise development, and applying the cooperative system. And because I shared some of this with you yesterday, I'm just going to fly like a bird through the presentation. The entrepreneur, manager, and technician, you just got a feel for that, what that is about. Not because you know about the technical work which is done in the business. That doesn't automatically qualify you to work on the business which does that technical work. Let's give a brief history of cooperatives. And if you don't know much about history, in 1844, the British Companies Act was passed, and it spoke about joint stock companies. Most of the companies that we are used to know, that type of model probably was launched in the 1844 Act in England, when you had people like Adam Smith had written his Wealth of Nations in 1776, and then by that time, 1844, you had the other great economists, Ricardo and so forth, start experimenting with these things that, you know, they were just beginning to understand Smith. And they passed, and they said, listen, there are certain things that must be present. And they said one of those things is proxy. When you set up a company, the shareholders should be able to vote by proxy, meaning that they can give someone authority to vote on their behalf in a general meeting or so forth. Remember that.